LLC, 130 to 130 Salem Street. Attorney Bill Perullo.
Mendoza's operate in the neighborhood. To my left is Frank Mendoza. The business we're talking about is Monica's Mercato, which is on Salem Street. They've operated that for approximately 20 years, originally renting the space. Their mother started the shop there as Salvaria, Mercato, however you want to phrase it, but it has both packaged and prepared foods. We renovated it recently, as you probably noticed. I think it was extremely attractive in that location. And as you are also aware, they operate 2 restaurants, one there across the street at the Trattoria, and the other at the Vinoteca de Monica on Richmond Street. We'll repeat for you, the Mendoza families, both involvements there as property owners, more importantly residents, business people, and participated in multiple events in the community. We have run into a situation where retail stores such as this, grocery stores, come under a definition of retail sale when they sell items, whether they're prepared or packaged, by what is called a piece of a pound. Translated to me, the interpretation of the Inspection Services Department is if I slice you a pound of cheese, that's by the pound. If I cut a wedge and wrap it and put it in the case and say that it's $5.99, that's a piece. However, they make a distinction when you produce items to order. So when you go in, you can buy all the bread, all the cold cuts, all the cheese you want, but technically you're not supposed to ask for a made-to-order sandwich. Same for pizza. They've had pizza there, similar to around the corner of Pazziali, where you walk in and you buy a slice of pizza. You don't ask that it be prepared for you as pepperoni or onion or peppers, etc. You buy a slice and you walk out. Interestingly, we use the example here of Ernesto. Ernesto sells lots of their pizzas pre-made. You just point to it and take it. But they also make to order, and they are a takeout restaurant. So in answer to another question that was posed the other night, this does not make this a takeout restaurant. This simply adds takeout to the grocery store use. The similarity is I was before you with the fitness center or the spin studio down at the end of Hanover Street that sells made-to-order juice. They were requested also to have a takeout use added to their zoning. They are not a restaurant, they're a fitness center, but because they sell a food item that's made to order, they have a takeout use. That use in the zoning code is referred to as a conditional use. It is not a forbidden use requiring variance. It's a conditional use requiring a conditional use permit, meaning is this an appropriate location for that use? We believe it is. As we're saying, everything we've done there for the last 20 years, with the exception, as we're saying, now having pizza that you can order to your liking, as opposed to buying it by the piece of the pound. So for that reason, we've applied for a conditional use permit to add takeout to the grocery store operation. That's the only violation. Yes?
The door on Noise Place, is that used for customers to go in and out?
Yes.
And then as well as inside?
Yes, you can access from inside as well.
And outside.
What's the purpose of a separate entry for this particular operation as opposed to
Yeah,
the rest of the Salumeria?
If you've been in the upstairs store, it is rather small in terms of circulation, meaning a lot of shelving, a lot of produce, a lot of products out. So the circulation in the store is rather limited. As you can see, you come in one door, you can't go back out that door. You can walk in where cold cuts and cheeses, olives, etc. are, make your way around to the other side where there's fresh pastas and so forth, cashier and go up. There's a staircase in between to go down. The preference is that for the pizza items, etc., that you not do that, come through the store, go down those stairs into the basement, but that you enter here on the side of Louis Place.
This zoning change would also permit you to make the sandwiches on the first floor? Is that part of
Yes.
this too? Yes. Try to make
Yeah,
that.
it's any item made for.
Is that, we have a couple of letters that were given to us by the butters and the like down Noise Place. Does that lane get used for delivery at all, or vehicles parked outside?
Not vehicles so much as we have always used that for delivery, trash, etc.
Okay. Because I know down Bartlett Place, there's also, because it's so narrow, and that's really effectively the fire lane as well. I didn't know if it was possible to maybe try and use that either minimally or Salem itself, as opposed to
Yeah,
no delivery.
Right, no delivery trucks
Yeah.
in the
Other than like, we go to the grocery shop,
and
but the apple is like by the Bolton Bakery, so
Right.
there's no blocking, yeah, you do get a fine.
That's what, yeah.
Yeah.
I would point out, you mentioned letters, Nicole Leo will confirm over 400 letters of support have been sent to the city. With regard to this, we had 388 at the Residents Association meeting. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to bring those tonight because I'm coming from another meeting. So there's widespread written support that's been sent into neighborhood services and the mayor's office.
And you had a butter meeting?
The butters meeting is the 20th.
Any other questions?
Bill, just looking at this letter that was given to us right before the meeting, you had a chance to look at it.
I haven't,
They wanted the abutters list a number of what they perceive as violations, and one of them has to do with the signage. And they say that it's forbidden in the North End Neighborhood District Zoning Code Section 5420D. I don't know anything about that. Are you able to respond to that?
no, all I know is there is a permit issued for that sign.
Okay.
I did look into that, right? Salem Street, you can have that. It's one of the like business areas for signage, according to that section. So I think their argument is that because it's noise, technically that's not allowed. That's what they're saying.
The process for that is someone disputes the permit, they have a right to appeal to the commissioner. What we can't tell you is the permit issued for that sign.
So I would say it's a little outside of our scope.
Okay, any other questions on the council? David?
How about a comment? Is that okay? Sure. Question. I've lived in the North End for about 17 and a half years now, since I was about 22. I came here for grad school. When I think of the North End, one of the first things that comes to mind are the Mendozas. Their track record speaks for itself. And you know, a lot of people will think like, well, it doesn't matter where you're from, whether you're from the neighborhood or not. You know, you're still a business person, you're still thinking of the bottom line. If there's anyone in the North End, if there's any family or business owners, or if they're one and the same, such as here, that absolutely would never, ever do anything that would be to the detriment of the North End, it's the Mendoza family. That's all I have to say.
Any butters? What's your name and where do you live?
I represent some property owners along Noise Place.
Would you identify who they are so we know who to
I'm
speak?
sorry?
Would you identify who they are that you're speaking for?
Sure, we represent the owners at 1 Noise Place and the owners at 11 Noise Place.
What are their names?
And my name is Attorney Ben Levin.
And their names are what?
They're the 2 letters that you received today, actually. One is from John Corey.
One Noise Place in town.
And the second letter is from Jim and Laura Finley.
And they're not at 11.
there?
10 Noise Place.
1 and 10.
So you had mentioned, my name's Attorney Ben Levin.
Nice
Good. Nice to meet you. So you had mentioned the reason you were here tonight. I was given the information that there were 2 violations that issued, both on December 15th. One was relative to the sign, and the other one was relative to the 36A license. And you had just mentioned that that's not correct, that a permit did issue for the sign?
As far as I know, we have, give me a copy of it before I leave. We have 1 zoning violation from 36 acre.
Do you have the permit for the sign as well?
Yes.
You do?
As far as we know, his brother George obtained the permit. He doesn't get back in town until next week. That's the information I have.
Okay. The next question is relative to 2013, when the renovations were completed. I assume you came before the neighborhood groups. I see some letters relative to the change in the license and the description before the neighborhood groups, as well as the applications of the city. How did you reference the space where the pizza shop is in the basement of that?
There is a pizza shop.
Well,
It's
the
all
current
not-
pizza shop.
It's not a pizza shop. It's
Okay.
all part of the same grocery store.
Was it open at that time in 2013 to the public?
The grocery store was
The door-
open for 20 years.
The door along Noise Place.
There's been a door on Noise Place for the 20 years that they've occupied, correct?
So the public would access the door on Noise Place? for
No,
20
they had no reason to then.
Okay, so the expansion, the basement?
The
When did that
basement, the
begin?
basement prior to this was prep and storage. There was no reason for you to go in the basement to pick something up, you picked it up upstairs.
Okay. So when did customers begin to access Noise Place to purchase items?
Just recently, when we started serving the pizza made to order.
Okay. And were there applications submitted to the city to allow customers into that space?
There's no such application.
Okay. So this space was always permitted use for customers?
It's a grocery store.
Okay.
It's a retail-
The basement space?
It's always been permitted as a retail store,
Okay. And that include the basement space?
including the basement space.
Okay.
Any other questions? Any other butters?
Mary Ann D'Amato, 13 Noise Place. And I just want to say I agree with this proposal. I mean, they're good neighbors. Yeah, there's been some missteps. Yeah, there's been some little things, but I think everything has been settled, and I think it's fine.
Mary Ann, have you heard from any other neighbors in support or opposition to this?
Actually, the only ones I know of are 1 and 10 Noise Place who oppose it, and I don't think anybody else cares.
Good. Thank you.
Any other comments from the butters or residents of the North End? All right, somebody want to make a motion to vote?
I'll make a motion to vote on Mendoza Brothers LLC, 130 to 130 Salem Street, Monaco's Mercato, seeks to add takeout use to grocery store for the sale of pizza and prepared food to go.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, vote.
Seeks to add takeout use to grocery store for the sale of pizza and prepared use. The unanimous vote of support, six members voted in support, none opposed. The members who voted in support are Marks, Lanza, Pregnant, Saboli, Kenny, and Delariva.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Thank you guys, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Mr. Riccio's vote is also in support.
I opposed it.
Meeting is adjourned. We'll see you next month. Thank you, everybody.